welcome once again to Senior Focus. I'm your host, Bill Adams. Senior Focus is a show designed for adults over the age of about 50 or so, but if you're younger than that, certainly you can still watch and maybe get some information that'll help a family member. Before we get started, I want to thank Greg Roten from Armstrong's Channel 20 and 100, who brings the show to you and does the production. And also thanks to the Youngstown Public Library. They're nice enough to let us use their meeting rooms. Today we're coming to you from the Austintown Library. And speaking of Austintown, we have a new business from the Austintown area. They're called Family First Adult Day Services. And the guests we have today, we have Christina Vlosich and also Vince Smith. They're co-owners, right?
Correct.
And you could explain a little bit maybe about where you're, why don't we start with the basics of where you're located and maybe even how people can get in contact with you.
All right. We're located at 4199 Kirk Road here in Austin Towns, just a little bit east of Ruley Brothers on the same side of the road. And our phone number is 330-953-2704.
And why don't we, both of you can take part of this if you want, but what are adult day services? What does that mean if people hear that term?
Well, adult day services for us, we care for the senior population, and what we feel we provide is a safe place for seniors to come during the day. So we are a Monday through Friday company, and we offer as little as 1/2 day a week up to full 5 days a week. And we have all the services that our seniors may need there, from physical activity to medical monitoring, assistance with ADLs, which are their activities of daily living, bathing, toilet assistance, and also we provide meals for them as well. And then we have a full activities calendar for them.
Vince, the two of you come from a therapy background, is that right?
Yes, sir. We've been in therapy for, well, my sister is a little bit older, so if I go on camera and say that. But we've been in therapy. I've been in therapy myself for over 25 years experience. She has a little bit more than me. So I guess I was following in her footsteps. But we have a therapy background. The one thing about our family is we come from a family that takes care of each other. Kind of believe in the old school way. If somebody needs assistance, we'll be the first one there. So that's what kind of led us into our fields of taking care of people. So, you know, doing that, we want to extend more into the community. We grew up in Austintown. We went through all the Austintown schools, love our community. And we were talking about things that we can do to help our community and get more help out there and what's needed. And that's when we decided to open up an adult day service. It's something that's going to be more and more needed as seniors, the population grows. The more demand is needed for seniors to stay at home.
Right.
And that's what we want to do. Is we want to call, the new buzzword is aging in place. So if we can help people stay home longer and be that little gap for them, for your mother, father, brother, sister, any caregiver taking care of somebody that they love, if we can give that support and take some time and make sure that they're not overstressed, or find a place where they can have some time to themselves, is what we were kind of trying to sum up.
Yeah, and Christina, we were talking, I think, before the show, but how, you know, there really is a need for services to help people stay at home, and you know, most people want to stay at home, right? They'd rather not have to go to a facility if they didn't have
Absolutely. I mean, most people want to be at home. That's where all their memories are from when they may have had children and their marriage, and you know, they want to be in their home. So this is just a way to help them stay at home a lot longer, whether they're staying in their own home or they're staying with a child or another caregiver. They can come to us, you know, during the day, and then be able to stay, you know, in their homes in the evenings. Also with us, we, you know, it may be a spouse that's taking care of their, you know, husband or wife, and they sometimes may need just that break during the day, whether it's to go take a long hot shower, catch a nap, go to the grocery store, any of those things that we take for granted, that when you can't leave somebody alone at home safely, we will be able to help with that.
And the hours are flexible, right, too. It's not like people are sort of stuck in a 9 to 5 or every day of the week. You maybe again explain how.
So our hours right now are 8 to 4:30. If we have somebody that needs to come in earlier or stay later, we do have staff available to accommodate those hours. But people could come to us as little as 1 half day, meaning up to 4 hours a day, or 5 full days up to 8 hours a day. So they're available to come to our facility, with a little bit of flexibility. And it doesn't have to be 8 to 12 is that 4 hours. It could be 10 to 2, whatever is going to work best for that family and that participant that comes to us.
Yeah, and maybe Vince, you could describe, this is an old church, right? Basically, a lot of people know it on Kirk Road, but I guess the family has done a lot of work to restore this. Can you
Yes.
describe what it looks like?
The thing I love about it was a church. So the bones and foundation of it, it has a good aura about it. It has been in Austintown since the early 1960s. It's right in front of the old Linkirk School.
Oh, yeah.
So if anyone knows where that is, then you'll know it's right at the corner at the flashing light. But what we did was we wanted to kind of keep the integrity of the church itself. It has a calm, soothing sense of feel to it. But what we did then too was make sure that we refinished it, and we went from top to bottom, from ceiling to floor. So the whole entire thing is completely renovated on the inside, but we have it geared to where it's more relaxing setting, and it kind of gives you a home atmosphere type feel to it. So we have pictures also of Mill Creek Park. We have a lot of Mill Creek Park. We have a local artist, his collection of artistry in there, and then we have just some little cues and furnishings that just might trigger some nice throwback memories on people who come in there, just because we don't want it to be a kind of a municipal feel. We want to make sure that when people come there that they feel more at home than it is in a medical facility or anything like that. So we're kind of replicate that.
Right. You even have a little dining area, right? People can get food and.
We do. We have 2 sections, or smaller area. We have a small cafe bar, so that if even a family member wants to come in with their loved one and have a cup of coffee with them before they go off on their day, they can do that. And then we have a larger area where people can have for their main meals, and our activity area in that same vicinity as well.
And before we forget, and we'll mention this too later in the show, remind people, but you have some programs coming up. You want to talk about those? Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the things that we feel is very important, because we have a therapy background and we understand that not only do we educate the participant that comes to us, but also the family. So we really want to develop a caregiver support system there, whether we're bringing in programs from Area Agency on Aging. Our current one is the DEEP program for diabetic empowerment education. And we also do one once a month for caregiver support. Sometimes those caregivers, they neglect themselves, so we have a yoga instructor that does a monthly education, whether it's meditation or chair yoga, but these are all free services that we would like to offer to the community. So even for our caregiver series, you don't necessarily need to be a caregiver to attend. You can come to those. The Area Agency on Aging ones, you do need to be over 60 for those programs, but they're all free.
I can't beat that. Free.
Right.
And so if people were interested, they call your office?
They do. They can call our office. It's 330-953-2704. And these programs are offered during the day, and sometimes we know it's hard for caregivers to find somebody to care for their loved one. So if they say would like to come to our diabetic program, we will offer them to bring their loved ones, and we will care for them in the adult day part for free while they can attend those services.
Oh, that's very nice. Yes, that's a real benefit again for caregivers.
Yes.
And it's almost like the tip of the iceberg, I guess, when you talk about senior care. We think of people in nursing facilities, but I think probably 80% of people are actually cared for at home by family and home care and things like that. Do you work with home care companies also?
We do. We have several home care companies, whether they provide the full home health with, the medical, nursing, skilled cares PT, OT, speech, as well as just people who provide non-medical caregivers that maybe companion care or do light duty stuff in the home. And we really feel like we can develop a partnership with them because they may be caring for somebody that they may see 3 times a week, and those other 2 days they may come to us. Or there may be a point in time where our participants no longer can be best served by what we have and may need more care. And then those are the next step for them, is to maybe look at some of those in-home programs.
And that's what we're kind of developing too, is we want to be more than just for the participant. You know, we run our services based on what their needs are. You know, we like to keep them stimulated actively, mentally, cognitively wise, and physical wise. But the other thing though too is what often gets neglected is the caregiver. And that's such a strain to them. And then sometimes they don't feel that they know where to go or where to turn to. What we like to do is provide, we wanted to, you know, part of what we're doing is, and we run programs, is to increase awareness in the community. Because it is about the participant first and foremost, but it's also about the caregiver themselves. And it's nice that if we can't provide that service that they need, that we have a network that we can sit there and steer them in the right direction to get the need that they need for their family member. And you know, if it's not us, that's okay, as long as they get the care for what they truly need.
And I know, you have the room upstairs where these programs can take place, the free programming. And you also have in your main room, the veterans area?
Yeah, so we developed a little veterans corner. We have a gentleman that came to us. He was 96 years old, and he was a Pearl Harbor survivor. And so we ended up speaking with someone from the DAV, and they came into our building and volunteered their time to sit with this gentleman and talk to him about some of his military experiences. And from that, we decided we put up a flag for that area, and then we have picture frames. So any of our veterans that come to us, if they would like to give us a picture, we want to put it on that wall to honor them, and hopefully we want to fill that wall. So that's our goal there.
Now, in getting this started, I know there was a lot of process, with the building itself. But how have you been going about, I guess, going out in the community? Do you guys do speaking engagements, or if someone out there was in a church group or AARP group, how would you be willing to go speak with them, or?
Absolutely.
Have you been doing that?
I don't do so well on camera, but I do it in person. I go over the limit. This is something that's a demand that is coming up, and people do not know the availability of this service. And it's such an up-and-coming thing that it's fairly new, but it is such a great thing to keep your loved one home. It's such a great thing to know that if you need assistance, that if you, again, like my sister said, if you need to take care of what you need to take care of, but you don't have the time to do it, you can take them to a place that you know that they're going to be medically monitored, they're going to be very well taken care of, that they're going to have socialization, activities, things of that nature, and you can go do your thing. So yes, as we can speak to them in as group as possible, I think the education needs to be out there. If we would never turn down anyone. If we can educate anybody on any piece of what we have to do or anything that we can steer them in the right direction to do, that's what our goal is. We want to be a community outreach.
Yeah. We've had many people say to us, wow, we wish we would have known about this because, we had to put my mom in assisted living. Maybe she could have stayed home with us a little longer.
Oh, sure.
Or this would have really helped my dad taking care of mom. It would have gave him a break, from that. So, these are things that people still do not know these resources are available to them and in the community where they can take their loved one.
Well, and just from knowledge about the system, even assisted living, which is less expensive than nursing homes, we're still talking several $1,000s a month. Could be as much as $5,000, I guess, a month or more. But with this, it's a less expensive alternative over the course of, there is an expense involved, but it's not as expensive as 24 hours a day.
Correct.
So the idea is, you're that bridge between people being totally independent, and yet they don't need assisted living necessarily. They just need maybe some time during the week, as a help.
Correct. Yeah, so for adult day services, most of the programs, you're looking at under $10 an hour to send your person there.
Okay.
And that would include, snacks, a meal, medical monitoring. There's also the availability to get some showers there. If somebody needs a shower,
okay.
we can provide that service. And then, our facility, we also provide transportation, for those participants as well.
And also off of that as well is when somebody's there, if they need, say, we notice that they're having a hard time hearing, they're having a hard time walking, we have medical professionals there that will sit there and look at that. And we work with the family directly and the caregiver to let them know that, hey, this is what we're noticing. To get their feedback, because it is about the participants. So we kind of get what they're coming from, and we try to tell them where we can come from. So then again, if it's something, say, well, here's an audiologist that we work with. Here's another place that you can go to get help. But we always, we're always looking at what the participants' needs are, and sometimes it's just more than what we can give them and what our services are. So that's why it's nice that we're able to see if there's any deficiencies that they may have, a place that we can help them.
Yeah, and I did get a chance to stop over, and you have the caregiver who was there. You were talking about her background, and maybe explain a little bit about the training that that person has.
The activities director?
Yeah.
So our activities director is actually a recreational therapist, and in this process I learned quite a bit about a recreational therapist. They have a bachelor's degree, and I learned that they are really a all-around educated person when it comes to that. Not only do they do activities, but they can also do therapeutic programming, from exercises to, I say they're like a social worker, a therapist, a case manager, all rolled up into one. So we brought on our recreational therapist because we feel like if we can develop great programs there, for our participants, that's really what will set us apart, how our programs are developed and how they're individualized for each person.
And when you got these, again, we have a couple programs coming up, and let's remind folks about caregiver, self-care for the caregiver, and also the diabetes program.
Correct. So each month we have the caregiver programs. We have the self-care for caregivers, which will be a little bit of a meditation class. And then the DEEP program would be the diabetic empowerment education program that we have. That actually is a 6-week course that is both of those are free. The caregiver ones, we try to do a different topic each month on those. And they can go to our Facebook page. All of these are always posted on our Facebook page that, they can get more information on Facebook, or they can always call us at the 330-953-2704 number. And each month we're doing a different caregiver, and then as the other programs develop, we're looking to do in the fall a program to help people with their living wills and their DNRs and power of attorney. So we will have somebody there that's from Area Agency on Aging to help them get all the forms that they need and get them filled out for them.
And again, that's a free service?
Everything is free.
Wow. How did you get the Agency on Aging involved? Did you approach them, or did they know about you, or how did that work?
Well, Area Agency on Aging does several things throughout our community. They have the educational part of their program. So we did meet with that director, and she talked to us a lot about these different programs. And then we went in the community to find the instructors who actually teach these programs to bring them in. And then the agency also has programs that help the seniors in our area as well with a lot of different services. So they are a wealth of knowledge. They're located at the Eastwood Mall on that top floor there.
And again, so people don't get confused, there is an Austintown Senior Center, but that's a senior center. This is adult day programs or adult day services, but you have you reached out to them, or have you talked with the folks there?
Absolutely. We've been there several times and spoke at their bingo programs. We sponsored several bingos there. And their first thing is, well, we don't need adult day services. And
Well, personally,
we don't need this. And we're like, you're absolutely right. You do not need adult day services if you're coming to the senior center.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell them, your friend Betty, who used to come to play bingo with you and can't come now because she's at home taking care of her husband, she's the one who may need our services. So maybe for 4 hours that day, she can bring, her husband to us, and she can go play bingo with her girls and just get that break to take care of herself for a little bit.
Right, and that's the thing. We were talking about this before, that when I've gone to speak to seniors about programs or services, they'll say, well, that doesn't apply to me. But but we have to think a little bigger. I mean, do you know a neighbor? Do you know a relative? Somebody who maybe is all alone, and could really use some companionship. That's a big part of this, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talked about the other program coming up about the living will and powers of attorney and things.
Yes.
You don't have a date yet for that?
We're looking early November for that. So we are finalizing that within the next day or two. And once we get that, that will be on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody would like to like us on Facebook, then they can see all of those programs on there.
Well, on Facebook, would you go just put a search for Family First Adult
Yes.
Day? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yes.
easy. I did find it, but
Yeah, that's
I'm imagining that's how people.
Yes,
get
that would
it.
be the easiest way.
And then you also have a website, right?
Yes, yes. So, and then our website is www.familyfirstads.com.
And again, if people were interested, the process is they call, and what would happen after they call? They come to you, they come to the facility?
So people come to us a couple of different ways. Some people call and they want some information, and they may stop in. Some people just stop in to check the facility out. So they can come in or call. It's pretty easy to get started in the program. We have a 2-page application and a health statement that would be signed by the physician. And then once those are completed, we would have them come in, and then we go through the enrollment process with them. We don't want to send somebody out with an inch of paperwork to fill out and say, here you go, read it, come back. We know that sometimes those forms can be overwhelming, so we really want to sit down, take that time, answer any questions, and really make sure that our services are going to really meet what the family needs and the participant needs.
Right.
So.
I see you did bring a calendar for the coming month.
Yes.
Are those some of the activities you want to share a little bit?
Sure. Usually every morning our activities start with a little bit of coffee and conversation. So they would have their morning snack when they would come in, and coffee or tea or whatever beverage they would choose. And then we may go into like an armchair exercise program. And we do bingo, we do music therapy. We have somebody that comes in and does music and like trivia with them, and it's a lot of fun. So there's a lot of different programs. We've potted tomatoes and pepper plants this year that have done better than my garden. But our goal is to just keep developing our programs to really meet the needs of the participants that come there.
And with that being said, that is general activities. We also, when somebody comes in, they're assessed by every one of our medical professionals. And our activities director, recreational therapist, will do an assessment. And not everybody will want to participate in all these activities.
Right.
So we individualize it to the patient's needs as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have two huge areas that has a doorway and closed doors in between. In case somebody does not want to participate in a certain activity, they can go to another area of the building, so they don't have to participate in that activity. They can participate in another activity outside of that.
Yeah, that helps, so you're not sort of coerced in.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is doing that, I'd rather do
Absolutely.
something different. And so you were talking about, I think, Vince, before, about how this is growing. What do you think, or do you see anything in the future? Have you projected like 5 years, 10 years down the road? What do you guys think is going to be the newest thing in adult day services?
Well, I would say this. Coming from a medical background that we have, we've been in the business we've been in therapy for over 25 years. Our senior population continues to age, and according to the numbers, we have 38 million baby boomers that have hit the seniors right now.
Mhm.
By the year 2028, they predicted about 85 million. The big thing is staying at home, aging in place. Now that you have our alternatives to being placed somewhere outside of the home, people are living longer. The demand is going to go through the roof. We actually wanted to be in the forefront of this, to become established so we can help as many people as possible. But a lot of these services that we're offering now are going to be plentiful here in the near future.
Right. And Christina, I think you were talking about developing more therapy areas in the building, is that right?
Right. We will have the availability for the participants when they come there to get physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy services there.
Okay.
Within the next year, we'd like to offer social work counseling and nutritional counseling as well.
Oh, good, okay. And all along, you're planning on continuing the free programming as far as
Absolutely.
education?
Yeah, that's the big thing is community education. Like just anything that they can do that benefit themselves or their loved ones. If we can be that research source and be that gap for them and bridge the gap for them, a lot of people just feel stuck sometimes. And if we can help them, guide them in a way that helps them, then we did our job.
Right. And this is, I know it's private pay, but there is some insurance that'll pay, sometimes long-term care insurance, is that right?
Long-term care insurance will pay. Passport services, which is through Area Agency on Aging, will pay for that. Some of the Mahoning County Senior Levy dollars will pay for adult day.
Oh, good, okay.
And we have next year ancillary services that will be paying, and we anticipate within 5 years maybe Medicare.
Oh, yeah, that's, Medicare, was designed originally, to help older people, but they never took into account how many older people there would be eventually. And, anybody who's been in the long-term care system knows that it doesn't pay for like nursing home or assisted living. So Medicaid has stepped in.
Yes.
And again, looking in the future, hopefully Medicare will expand more and provide more of these home care type services or
Absolutely.
community-based. Well, why don't we give out some more information, or the information about where to reach you and the upcoming programs.
Sure. You can reach us at 330-953-2704. And then we have the self-care for the caregiver, which is September 20, oops, I missed that date on that.
Self-care is
September
the
26th.
Mhm.
And then the DEEP program starts September 10th. So they can call the office and sign up for either one of those programs.
And that's ongoing, the DEEP, which
Yeah,
is
that'll
the
be a
diabetes education.
6-week program, yes.
Mhm. So again, if you know folks out in the community, this would be a good way, not only they would learn about some things, but they can also stop in and see that your
Absolutely.
facility.
We welcome all visitors.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And again, it's in the old church.
Yes.
It was called Lindkirk.
The Lindkirk Church of Christ.
Okay. And it's right there near Rowley Brothers, too.
Correct.
That's how everyone knows us.
That's true. Go shopping and stop over. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for
yeah,
having
thank you.
us.
We've been talking with Christina Vlosich and also with Vince Smith. They're with the Family First Adult Day Services in Austintown. Again, we invite you to contact them at 330-953-2704. You've been watching Senior Focus. I'm your host, Bill Adams. Senior Focus comes to you through Channel 20 and 100 of Armstrong Cable. And we thank Greg Roten, who is the production person and the local community programming director here. Also thanks to the Youngstown Public Library. They're nice enough to let us use, in this case, the Austintown branch of the library, their meeting room. So please come out and enjoy your library. And most of all, we want to thank you for watching. And until next time, take care.